All right, I think this is recording. So first, before I start, I just want to say I miss all of you guys, and I hope all of you are staying indoors and that you're staying safe. And then most importantly, if you need me for anything, if you're help with math, if you have questions about Northwest, what's going on with this whole situation, I'm more than willing to help you any way I can. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to post a lesson, 2 lessons maybe a week on here. So you're going to see 2, 3 new materials a week, and then we're going to do like what we do in class, and we're going to do different review activities. Okay, so we left off on y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, so I know that we covered a lot of this. We covered everything that A is, and we covered everything that B is. Okay, so we said that if A is positive, that it's concave up. We said if A is negative, that it's concave down. Okay, we said if we're looking at anything that is less than 1 and greater than 0, so we're looking at your fractions. Okay, we said that was a shrink. Okay, and then we said anything that is greater than 1, aka the absolute of a whole number, that is a stretch. Okay, so that's everything that has to do with A, and then we talked about C. Okay, C is our y-intercept. Okay, so what we need to talk about is we need to learn one more vocabulary word. Okay, and that vocabulary word that we're going to learn is axis of symmetry. Can you see? Yeah, axis of symmetry. Okay, this is on your vocabulary grid. If you want to get that out and fill it in, that's completely up to you. Okay, that's what we would be doing in class right now, but again, it is up to you on what you want to do. Okay, so axis of symmetry. Okay, axis of symmetry is the line that cuts the parabola in half. Okay, it is the line that cuts the parabola in half. So if you have a picture of it, okay, it is this line right here. Okay, and since this line is vertical, it is going straight up and down to fold that parabola in half. It is going to be an x equals line. Okay, and then the number is going to depend on where that line is at. Okay, so for instance, which I'm going to have to go get an eraser in a second, but if I have this, okay, 1, 2, 3, -1, -2, -3, and let's say my parabola is right here. Okay, so your axis of symmetry is the line that folds it in half. So you have to go through and you have to find that line. So if we were to draw it in, you all know that this is the line where it folds in half. And then you look at what number that is on the x-axis. So that number is 2. So this line is x equals 2. Okay, so this is what we're going to get on. Oh, hopefully it didn't go black. This is what we are going to lead into eventually. Okay, we're going to find exactly what that point is. But for right now, we just need to find where it folds in half. Okay, so you are not always going to be given a picture of the parabola. Most of the time, you're just going to be given the equation. Okay, so if you're just given the equation, do you know how to find it? Okay, so that's our goal with what we are going to do today. Okay, so let me grab an eraser. Okay, so even though we are not given a picture anymore and we're just going to be given an equation, okay, it holds true of it's still the line that cuts the parabola in half. The difference is we can't visually see the line, we have to find it, okay? So, just like before we had 2 definitions, we're going to have 2 definitions now. So, the axis of symmetry is the line that cuts the parabola in half, okay? So, it's an x equals line, okay? And then, so the formula for how to find it is x equals negative b divided by 2a. Okay, so now we're going to start to bring in that b. We're going to see what that b does, okay, and how it affects our max point or our midpoint, aka our vertex. So this x equal is always going to represent our axis of symmetry, okay? Every time, no matter what. So like I try to talk about in class, if you ever have a negative in the formula, it just means opposite, okay? So you take whatever opposite b is, so just like in class, I'll write that in, okay? Opposite b divided by 2 times a, okay? So you have to find b, find a, and then plug it into the formula. So if I have y equals x squared plus 4x minus 10. Okay, so the first thing I would do, like we did in class, is I would identify what is a, what is b, and what is c. Okay, so we have our imaginary 1. So a is 1, b is 4, and c is negative 10. Okay, so right now, the variable that we do not need is c. Okay, we do not need the c, we just need the b, and we need the a. So if the formula is x equals opposite b, our b is 4. So what's opposite of 4? Negative 4. Divided by 2, because that's in the formula, okay, and then times a. So what's a? A is 1. Okay, so this is negative 4 divided by 2 times 1, which is 2. So x would equal negative 2. Okay, so right now we do not have a picture, but we should have a pretty good sketch in our head about what this is going to look like, okay? Our a is positive, so it's concave up. And we're looking at the basic parrot function, okay? It's not skinnier, it's not wider than that. It's just your perfect one curve, okay? So we should be able to visualize that it's going up and that this line is going to be negative 1, negative 2. Oops, you can't see that. Okay, negative 1, negative 2. So we know that line is going vertically up and down, and it's cutting that parabola in half at x equals negative 2. Okay, so let's try another one. Let's do y equals negative 2x squared plus 8x plus 4. Okay, so again, okay, so we got cut off, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to finish. So I have y equals negative 2x squared plus 8x plus 4. So identify your a, your b, and your c. So a is negative 2, b is 8, c is 4. Okay, so again, follow your formula. X equals opposite b divided by 2a. Okay, so we have b is 8, so what's opposite of 8? Negative 8 divided by 2, because that's in our formula. Okay, that's where I'm pulling the 2 from, times our a, which is negative 2. So now we have negative 8 divided by 2 times negative 2, which is negative 4. So we have a negative divided by a negative, which is going to turn into x equals 2. Okay, so if we have x equals 2, again, we should have a pretty good visualize. Negative 2, that means it's concave down. Okay, and if it's concave down, we know that it's a little bit of a stretch because it's a whole number. Okay, so we know that this line right here is at x equals 2. So this would be 2, this would be 1, and that would be our origin. Okay, so again, we're not going to have a perfect graph yet, but we should at least be able to visualize where that graph is folded in half. Okay, let's try another one. So it's not always going to come out perfect, and that's totally okay, because remember, once we get into actually using these and solving these, we're most likely going to have Desmos to help us out, so we won't have to do all of these fractions by hand. Okay, so if I have y equals 3x squared, let's go minus 9x, and that's it. Okay, you don't necessarily need a c. It's no big deal. All we need is our a and our b in order to find our axis of symmetry. Okay, so let's do, Okay, so A is 3, B is -9, and then we know our C is 0, but again, we don't need our C point, okay, to find the axis of symmetry. So X equals opposite B, so my B is a -9, so what's opposite of a -9? 9, okay, divided by 2 times 3. So we have 9 divided by 6. So 9 divided by 6, it's not a perfect whole, okay, but we do need to go ahead and reduce that fraction. So divide by 3, divide by 3. So our X equals 3 halves. Okay, so X equals 3 halves. So again, that's 1.5. So you should be thinking of a parabola that is a stretch. It's concave up, okay, and then right down the middle is 1.5. Okay, so it's 1.5 over. So what if, I want to throw this one at you. What if I have this? Y equals 2x squared. Okay, so if I have y equals 2x squared, I do not have a b, I do not have a c. Okay, but I do know a is 2. I also know b is 0. Okay, so if b is 0, x equals, there is no such thing as opposite, 0. So 0 divided by 2. What's 0 divided by anything? 0. Okay, but again, if we have no b and c, then you should have just realized that that starts at the origin. Okay, and it's a stretch. And again, it cuts in half at x equals 0. Okay, so I really hope that this video helped you find the axis of symmetry. So now you're going to practice this right now, and you're going to answer a couple of questions based on if I give you the picture or if I give you the equation. Okay, you also have to make sure that you know that this definition, so the axis of symmetry is where the line that cuts the parabola in half. Okay, and I think that's honestly it for this video. So let's end with the heart smack dab in the middle. Okay, I miss all of you, and I hope that this helps.